Greetings. Hello. Doing some last minute fixing things because I keep forgetting to do that. Why am I like this? I do not know. Okay, so like, yesterday I said I was gonna draw, but I didn't. Let me fix this. I might need to go back and edit this Malleus PNG thing. He a little too big. Or at least the arms look weird on it. I don't know. It needs to be scaled better. Anyways, I said I was gonna draw yesterday. I didn't. I was yapping mostly. About like the, you know, Twisted Wonderland event and all that, and anime stuff, and whatever else I was yapping about yesterday. And I forgot to draw, even though I was going to, so yeah, I started drawing. So anyways, I started drawing. Drew the boy. Best boy. He finally made his anime debut. Anyways, it's Ortho. Bestest boy. Hello, welcome. Been a while, Mercury. How you doing? I be drawing. It may be November, but Halloween isn't over yet around here. We got a Nightmare Before Christmas Halloween event. Well, Christmas event. It's probably the only time this game's ever gonna get a Christmas event. But I'm here for it. Been a while, still listening to music. Nice. I still be drawing things. Now in my country, we're in Christmas season. Yeah, Christmas season keeps crouching into October. It gets a little annoying, man. But now is the time for appropriate Christmas decorations and stuff like that, you know? I do not mind. But man, I remember years ago, around October, it was always Halloween. Nowadays, when it's Halloween, Christmas decorations start popping up at the same time as Halloween decorations, and I'm just like, what is happening? You don't even let Halloween simmer October 1st, and you're still putting Christmas stuff alongside the Halloween stuff. Why? I just came back from listening to What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. Sukiyaki by Kyo Sakamoto. You haven't done nothing by Stevie Wonder. Sometimes they get ready for Christmas. Sometimes they be getting ready for Christmas too early. At least save it for November 1st. Please. The only exception is if you're getting Nightmare Before Christmas decorations, because those work for either season. It does not matter. I also listened to Be Thankful for What You Got by William Devon, or however you say that. Funny. Hold on, I need reference of my boy here. Look at him! He got a cute little hat on, and this is the closest thing to a cat hat he's gonna get for who knows how long. I still hold hope. There's definitely many ways you can incorporate a cat outfit for Ortho at some point. Or for any of the characters in general. We already have a bunch of rabbits. I need cat outfit Ortho, please. In the silliest little costume you can give them. I see, yes. Indeed. Although I think the hat's more like that flying squirrel toy thing from Nightmare Before Christmas. Because I used to think it was a cat, and it kind of looks like a cat, but it's not a cat. It's a flying squirrel. Either way, I love it when Ortho gets animal outfit accessories. It's so cute. He can really be anything he wants. Maximize the cuteness. And I haven't drawn like chibi styles in a while, so this is also a fun excuse to draw that. Especially because I still don't have, like, this event hasn't even started yet, so there isn't really good close-ups of what the outfits look like, and drawing a chibi version just means I don't have to care about the details. The only important detail is the head. And I have a good idea of what it looks like, so. Well, it's always challenging for me to draw Ortho sometimes, because, I don't know, I get the perspective a little off with the mask thing, but I don't mind. It encourages me to get better at drawing perspectives. Although yesterday I was supposed to draw, but I was just talking for like the entire time. I got lost in the conversation. Because like the other day they released the information for the event for the game, so then it's like, oh, it's fresh in my mind, I must talk about this. As well as information on the new event character, because we get his name. And he looks vaguely unsettling, but I like it. The Oogie Boogie inspired character is named Swing. And I'm thinking that's probably not his actual name, but you know, we'll probably find out when the event happens. We'll see where it goes. It's kind of like a part 2 of the other Halloween Nightmare Before Christmas event. Sort of. Because like they have the characters back that showed up in there. But they also have like a few characters added to the event story. And have a Nightmare Before Christmas event without Sandy Claus. I think that's the only new character that was added, because I think all the other characters are coming back. Speaking of characters, I mostly love anti-heroes with tragic backstories. Indeed, those are fun. Very entertaining to watch as well, sometimes. I like both tropes. Because, like, yeah, I kind of vibe with anti-hero characters a bit, but I also vibe with, like, regular sort of hero archetype characters as well. Like, most of my favorite Fire Emblem characters fall a little bit more in line with, like, regular hero tropes, I guess. For a few. Some of them fall more into that anti-hero territory. Well, I think Dimitri is one of the few characters that follows both of those, because he goes through an entire arc, man. Mostly vibe with anti-heroes, not so much for heroes. Yeah. I feel like sometimes it also depends on how well it's written, too. Because, yeah, sometimes hero characters can be pretty boring when they're written to, like, oh, they're the good guy, they have to be good guy all the time guy. Stuff like that. Like, that gets a little boring. Especially if the story doesn't make the character more interesting, you know, it doesn't challenge them or something. With anti-heroes, at least we understand their motivation. Heroes just here to save the day. Yeah. Yeah, to an extent, because heroes are usually characters that already have a good sense of morals, so I think it's more interesting to put them in situations that actually test their morals. If you're gonna have, like, a character who plays off of, like, a regular hero trope. Anti-heroes, if given better material, they would be one of the best characters. Yeah. That's what makes a hero character interesting. It's like, as long as there's some sort of challenge they're going through, it doesn't really matter if they're, like, played off as, like, a traditional hero or, like, an anti-hero, but again, it's definitely the writing. I think that's what also makes Dimitri from Fire Emblem one of my favorite characters, because He's like a character that he's always struggled with like anger or whatever, but he's like a genuinely nice person, and then you just see him snap and you're just like, oh no. Even if heroes have good backstory, they're still boring regardless, but if they go through struggles, maybe so. Yeah. Because obviously, like, for a kid's movie, it's easier to have a hero character that's just, oh, they're a good guy, they do good things, they do the right thing all the time, you know? But, like, if you're making a story more for an older audience, making you think more, it's like, you gotta make the heroes a little bit more interesting. And I don't really say that as, like, kids media needs to be, like, stupid and dumbed down. It's more like, it's easier to have simple characters in a kid's movie. Even if you make them a little bit complex. Like, you don't need too much complexity. You need just enough. What am I doing? I think that's also why I like Twisted Wonderland too, because like most of these characters are genuinely just selfish teenagers at some points. Or if they are doing something that would be seen as a good deed, it's mainly because it benefits them in the moment. So what if heroes do the right thing? Every show always has that. Yeah. It's like, I'm doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do, but like with most of the Twisted Wonderland characters, it's more like, I'm only doing this because I'm tired of whatever's going on right now, and I just want to get back to doing what I was doing. At least for most of them. Some of them are actually like, oh yeah, I'm not actually a terrible person, but some of the other characters are kind of like, please stop ruining this for me. It's like, I was in the middle of doing something. But like all of them definitely have some backstory going on. Some characters are definitely more tragic than others, and others are kind of just interesting. Like I still remember like the summer event. It was wedding themed, haunted mansion themed, and one of the characters gets kidnapped by a ghost. And it's like the only reason they're helping him is because they've been threatened. It's like, if you do not help my brother, I will destroy everything. You've been warned. They're like, fine, we'll help him, and then almost every one of them gets trapped because the ghost is just like, you're all terrible. You're all terrible husband material. That one is still one of my favorite events though because it's so funny. Just the concept of steps outside, gets immediately kidnapped by a ghost. Refuses to ever go outside again. Unless absolutely necessary. Sometimes anti-heroes help us. be not judgmental towards others and not think in black and white. Yeah. They have more complex reasons. But I'm also just a sucker for, like, hopeful, happy endings, yay, kind of a thing. Sometimes, not all the times. I had a thought and I kind of lost it. Oh yeah, I was watching an anime like a while back or something that also had like an anti-hero type character. And I kind of forget a bit of what was said, but the main character in question, who is totally not a nice person, kind of said something along the lines of like the reason why they were like doing what they were doing is mainly because they just wanted to help themselves. They didn't really care about anything else other than what they personally were like looking for or whatever. I wish I remembered the quote better, but like it was interesting. It's like, I'm not saving the world because I want to save the world. I'm saving the world for selfish intent, and so you praise me. Just like being openly honest about like I do not really care. But happy endings must have good processes, backstory. Otherwise, happy endings don't make sense. Yeah, it needs to be like a deserved or maybe even bittersweet ending when it comes to like a happy ending. If you're telling a story that's not really supposed to be simple. It's like, what is your actual approach to storytelling? Do you want something simple? Something more along the lines of a fairy tale, moral, fable type story with like simple ending, simple plot, simple lesson? Or are you telling more like an epic story or something? Made to make you think. I also do watch some anime that has anti-heroes, like Nagako from Fushigi Yugi. I never liked the anime, but Nagako could have been an interesting character if he was given better material to work with. Interesting. I don't think I've heard of that anime. It's been a while since I've watched Hellsing. I kind of want to rewatch that anime because Alucard is interesting. A very interesting one. It was in the 90s. I want to look more into older anime. It's been a while. I really need to practice drawing more hats. That's why in every show, movie, anime, I always relate to anti-heroes. Sometimes they really are the more interesting characters in the lineup. Sometimes it's nice to have that balance of a character that's kind of just unapologetically, like, only there for themselves. Not really doing good deeds because they want to, because it's the right thing to do, but more like, I just need what I need, and I will need it. Absolutely not. Any hero can reach that level. Yeah. I guess it's more about the progression of the story at that point. I also want to start watching a lot more older movies, too. I don't know, there's just something fun about older movies now. Because, me and my mom watched The Goonies the other day, which is a movie I never watched when I was younger, probably because my mom knew that I probably wouldn't be able to watch that when I was younger, because I was always easily frightened by everything. And I know myself as a person, yeah, that's probably true, but it was a good movie. It was just fun adventure. I liked it. Yes, progression of the story is the most important in any show, anime, or movie. Yeah. Older movies have unique storytelling, especially movies from the 70s and 80s. Yeah. Probably because there wasn't, the ratings board was definitely different back then than it is now. So, like, yeah, even kids' movies from the 80s didn't really feel like the kids' shows from the 80s, and I find that kind of funny. Like, kids' shows in the 80s, very PG, I guess. Very simple, very moral lessons taken or whatever, but then you get to some of the movies from that era. They're not always very nice. Even Jaws, Enter the Dragon, The Exorcist, etc. I still never watched Jaws. I've always wanted to. Yes, but those movies made the biggest difference. Sad that recent movies get more recognition and credit more than the 70s and 80s movies. Yeah, kind of. I mean, a lot of movies from like the 70s and 80s and even 90s, I guess, were pretty important movies, but I feel like some of them just got forgotten as time goes on, because, like, they either get a bunch of sequels or whatever, or, like, people just forget that these movies existed, and that's why some of these franchises are a thing today, or why some stuff, you know, exists. What happened to this hat? I don't like how it looks. It's too round. Oh, hello! Thank you for subscribing. At least I hope I said that right. I don't know. Thank you. I usually just drop things and yap about things that I like. I lost my train of thought, so I'm just focusing on the hat. I'll probably fix this later. The hat's probably gonna bother me for most of this. guess one thing I noticed about some newer movies is that they're very eager to break the rules of storytelling without actually understanding them. And then that makes the movie feel kind of boring and forgettable. Because again, like, one of the most recent movies I saw was Tron Ares, and I can't remember anything about it. Because it really felt like nothing. It's just things happen. Like, if I can't remember anything significant about what happened, it's probably not cool. Along with the fact that quite a lot of movies like to forget how to write a female character and just make a male character that's still not even likable. But just pretend that this character is better because it's a woman. That gets kind of annoying. Like, you're totally supposed to care about this, even though we've given you no reason to care about this character at all whatsoever. This is also why I don't watch movies, shows, anime. That's only why I listen to 70s music. Yeah. It's just like some of the trends are kind of boring. Along with the fact that it's like, it's possible to subvert some of these tropes or whatever, but like, some people suck at it so badly that it's like, you didn't understand what made it work in the first place. I'm okay with female characters saving the day, but if she's not relatable, there's no way I can relate to her. Exactly, they forgot how to write good female characters, even though you have examples from, like, the 70s and 80s of, like, female characters that are actually pretty good. Alien, anyone? Speaking of, I still need to watch that movie because I only saw part of it. I never watched the whole thing from, like, start to finish. Hello, Shadow Milk Cookie. We draw an Ortho today and talking about old movies. That yes, you can have a female character save the day in a movie, but you can also not make them boring. It's not that hard, really. Sometimes you just gotta stop overthinking it and just let the character be a character with a personality. The sauce, man. You forgot the sauce. Also, speaking of Alien, kind of unrelated to the topic a little bit, but not really, because there's like a really cool Monster High Alien doll. And like, I low-key kind of want it, but I don't have that kind of money. It looks so, like, that's where all the budget went for this doll. It looks gorgeous. When I say not relatable, I mean when she cries nonstop. Mitch and Linen nonstop, bossy, lazy, have a fixed mindset. Basically just a poorly written character. Because, like, even some of these traits, if you find it in a male character, it's still not a good character. Like, too surface level. Oh, let's just tell this entire story, but instead of a man character, we replace it with a woman, and we change nothing else about it, because our writing is terrible, but if we say that we have a female lead, people will, support it no matter what. Because we're breaking boundaries. No, you're just boring me. Male characters are the same as female characters. Indeed. Especially the way some of these people write them. But there's nothing wrong with having softer characters, whether they're male or female. Some people just think way too hard about stuff that doesn't matter. I drew bots. Yay. I even watched a lot of female characters where they kept crying nonstop to the point that I can't watch that show or movie anymore. That do be happening sometimes. It's like, you know, it's okay to have characters cry and all that, but if that's all they're ever gonna do and they're not gonna do anything else about whatever they're in, it's kind of annoying. It's like you're overdoing the whole I need to be rescued, save me thing. Oh, look at the little hand. Little chibi. Oh yeah, on another unrelated topic, sort of. I've been working on making some low poly 3D models. I have one for Ortho, and it's fine. Like, it functions the way I want it to function. But the one I'm making for Ida is a mess. His hair is just a mess. And it's like, I'm purposely doing low poly so I don't actually have to, like, try and draw his hair. Because it's just fire and it's long. And it's just... It's not going the way I was expecting. I had to re-rig that thing like 3 times to try and fix it. It's okay. We can share a lot of things, especially 3D models. Yeah. His model is giving me a hard time. Mainly the hair, because like every time I try to rig it, it doesn't move the way I want it to move. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to rig it. Because like, when I was like fixing up Ortho's model, I found this thing on Twitter where somebody had a Blender tutorial or whatever about how to rig a tail. And I'm like, I can use this. And when I used it on the cables that come off of Ortho, I'm like, this is good. I need to use this on Ida too. And yes, it works. But also, I'm like, maybe I can try on the hair, because the hair just doesn't want to move the way I want it to move. So I had to like redo his entire rig a bunch of times just to try and get the hair to work the way I want it to work. But also at the same time, I redid his hands because they were also like not moving the way I wanted them to move. So I had to like completely remodel the hands. Because I did that for both of the models too. Oh yeah, speaking of, I do... Sidetrack. I do have the images. Sort of. The work in progress shots of Ida. If I can find them. I'm happy to change subjects willy-nilly. It's fun. Especially because I... Not this one. What am I doing? I have it in the folder. I am so silly. I am so silly. Here we go. Work in progress of Ida model. Middle size correctly. There he is. Like, see the little tassels? I re-rigged those and they move the way that I want them to move now. But it's the hair. It's like a little too short. And it doesn't like to move the way I want it to move, so I'm like, I need to fix that. I've also did an ortho model too, but that one's fine. That one doesn't have any issues anymore. Other than I'm still debating on whether or not I want ortho to have color changing hair. Because I gave Ida 2 different colored options. Also the hands still bother me. At least on this, when I took these photos, the hands were still kind of like rigged weird. Yeah. It's just, I want it to be like more functional. The hands are very complicated. I also need to add a little bit of like a blush texture, because I have one for Ortho. Like some little like squares on his face that just have like a blush texture on it. And I feel like I need that for Ida, but like a different one, just to match with the pink hair. But like, as far as the expressions, I think I gave Ida some of the funniest ones because I can make him do this. He looks so shook. I love it. I love it so much. I was also gonna add more to the hair too. More like controls to it, because like the bangs, so that way you can like flare them out a little bit. I don't have that for Ortho though, and I'm fine with it because Ortho's hair is just very simple looking when it comes to the model. It gives off very PlayStation 2 vibes, and I like it. Also, his hands are less chunky than in previous iterations. I also want to make a few other characters from Twisted Wonderland as like low poly models, but that'll probably take a while. But I'm probably only gonna do my favorites. Well, I might add more. I don't know, it might just... it's something to keep me busy, honestly. I'll go listen to Spring Rain by Busuviri, Let the Music Play by Barry White, and Mirai by Hiromi Iwasaki. Alright, it was fun chatting with you. Thanks for stopping by, it's been a while. I'll see you whenever. Thank you for dropping by. Nice talk about favorite characters and shows, although I no longer enjoy shows anymore like I used to, but I'm glad we share musical nights. Bye-bye. No problem. I am still very much an optimistic person, and I do hope for entertainment to get better. When people remember how to art again. There's still good stuff out there, it's just trickier to find nowadays. I don't know what's going on with his arms right now. And sadly, I might need to redo this entire gift box, but that's fine. Because the perspective does not match how he is holding this box. He's so bean-shaped. I love them. You're such a bean. Like how he looks like he's wearing fluffy with his no pants. I think that's about it. Hopefully we finish Chibi Ortho tomorrow. I'm gonna have to redraw the box though. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like the head's a little bit too big. I could try and make the body wider. I want it to look more proportional, I guess. But yeah, it was fun. I will see ya tomorrow. And then next week I will not be on for most of it. Holidays and all that, so. Yeah. Bye-bye.